Black Estate, Our Interest, Our Voice podcast, where you can hear real conversations on real topics about real issues affecting our community, get real views and real advice from real professionals about real estate and business. Hello, my name is Tinisha Williams, and we are back again with the Black Estate, Our Interest, Our Voice podcast. Today, I'm here with Sade Sgaines. She is a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway, one of my business colleagues and one of my dear friends. And we are here today. This is real estate talk. So we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk a little bit about the market and also her experience in the real estate market. So Sade, tell us a little bit about you and how you got into real estate. What was your pull towards real estate?
Hi, Tinisha. Thank
Hello.
you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So my journey is, it's a childhood background one. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Georgia, and my family they're all real estate brokers. Nice. So I spent my summer as a middle schooler and a high schooler being their gopher. Oh, okay. That was my job. I would type in the little things into the contracts. And at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. You know, they just give me a piece of paper and say, input this, data entry.
Put the checks in.
Do all the little stuff. But the best part was when we used to go, you know, touring the homes with our buyers. And it was so fun because I thought I was just, you know, the business because I had the little key fob and I would open the door for us. And I was like, go ahead. So that's how I gained my interest in real estate was just through my family. But I took a different path. I went into marketing and journalism broadcasting. Nice. And I did that for about the last 10 years. So
tell us about your experience with that and who do you currently, like where are you currently working at besides with Berkshire Hathaway? What are you doing in journalism and broadcasting?
Okay, so shifting gears, I am currently with ABC affiliate KATU, nice. Channel 2 here locally in Portland in the sales department, and I manage their local advertising contracts. Awesome. And what that means is we just meet with local businesses, and we they basically buy airtime from us or digital space, and we promote and brand their businesses. Nice. Well, I also got my start in real estate advertising, but kind of similar, selling ads and business to business sales. Yes, which also definitely helps when you're getting into the real estate market to know how to sell and not only sell your homes, but also sell yourself to your clients. Oh, right. Absolutely. Sales is sales. So, you know, it's a hustle regardless of what you're selling. You know, even you're that little kid selling those candy bars. That's a hustle. Right. And now, you know, we're brought up now to be ABC, and you have to find those local businesses. And it's not just ABC, NBC, Fox is here, CW's here. We have the radio stations. So there's competition just amongst, you know, even transferring back to real estate, well, all the different brokerages. We have, is it 1,200 realtors in Oregon or 15? I would have to check that number again. I haven't recently looked at the statistics, but I would have to check that number again, but it's between 1,200 and 1,500 realtors just here in Oregon.
And it's probably more than that. You think so? To be honest, I think we might be closer to the thousands, but I mean, I guess that isn't 1,000, 1,500, but I think, I have to check the statistics. Okay, I'm going to check again. On that. That's sad. I should know that right off the back, but competition's competition. I'm not thinking about them like that. Exactly. I'm thinking about our own business. But so just kind of double backing to your family being in real estate, was real estate something that they talked to a lot about to you growing up? Like, you know, besides your family introducing you to it, did they help you understand the importance of having real estate and owning real estate? It wasn't until more so in my college years is when the development of real estate became an idea, became an importance to me. Before then, it was school and education, you know, so they didn't really, even though it was family's business, it wasn't really, you know, like this is your path, this is what you should do. They were great examples for us. So we had great examples for sure. Once we were in college and you're kind of off on your own and then you have this whole roommate situation, what I noticed was one of my roommates' mother bought a house, and she bought that house for all of us to live in. Nice. And I remember telling my family, I was like, can you guys buy me a house down here? And they were like, no, you can buy your own. You can do exactly what she did. And it kind of broke down like what she did. And that to me, I was like,
what? They're just going to make money off of us the whole entire time. Like, this is so cool. And then it's crazy because the house I grew up in, but the house I was living in with my roommates, most of them were financial majors. And I'm the journalist of the group. So, I mean, I guess I think I was a little bit more the free-spirited one, and they were so structured with their money, and we were all bartenders and waitresses, and, you know, to actually see that money, you have to save.
Right.
I was not the saver. I had paid my bills, like, here's my rent money, and here's my utilities, and then after that, I was like, you guys want to go to the beach? We're going to go out to eat? Like, there's this concert, and they were like, oh, no. We're not doing that. Like, oh, that's
so they were disciplined. Those are the roommates you need, as though that it brings a good balance.
Yeah. So now I feel like the stock market is all over the place, and of course we have different social media mediums to where we can see how prevalent it is and how important it is to invest your money. I was in school in 08. Yes, so 07, 08 when I was a freshman that year, and then 2010 came, and my best friend, she was a finance major. And she goes, do you invest? And I was like, in what? I was like, the only thing I own is my car. I was like, I own nothing else but my car and my clothes. And she used to try to tell me, you should invest. She was like, it doesn't matter if you invest $3 every week. She was like, find a stock and keep putting money into it. And I didn't do it. I didn't listen. And it wasn't until my adult life that I'm listening to her now. And she is such a mogul to me. She's 35 years old. She owns 6 properties, and she's been investing since she was the age of 17.
Wow.
And her father was a lawyer, and he did all her taxes every year, and he would break it down to a science for her to where she does her own taxes now. And now she is a director of a hospital for their finance department.
Wow, that's awesome. Gosh.
She's my shero, and she's my best friend. And I was like, just keep me in the wheel.
I need to get her on the show to see what type of saving practices she used, because I think that's a struggle for all of us, especially as a young woman. You're not thinking about saving for your future, especially 10 and 20, not even 5 years down the road. And I don't think that really clicks for a lot of us until we're in our 30s.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, shit, I need to start setting some money aside. Like,
Absolutely.
I want to retire at a certain age and be able to enjoy my life and not be, just working. Yeah. So that I really wish I would have had that mindset when I was in my teens. I would have been so much further in life, but we have it now, and now we use the education that we do have to educate our families and other people.
Right.
And those are the things that I now talk about with my daughters. About the importance of investing, because it's super important. My first stocks were real estate stocks with a company that I used to be with. And I've continued to just let those sit in there. I really didn't understand it when I first got into it.
Right.
And so I wasn't, I had a friend that did day trading, and like that was her jam. She was, she knew how to do it and was making her money. I was scared. To me, it was like gambling, and
it is a gamble. It is a gamble. And and it's not a safe gamble. It's not a guaranteed gamble or anything like that. I'm starting to learn it. I'm starting to understand it more. I was definitely you in that boat. Someone tells me buy stock, and Stash came out, and my boyfriend, he was the one who's like, put like $2,500 in here. I was like, are you crazy?
Right.
That's like a lot of money to me right now. What do you mean?
I got stuff right now that I need to spend that on.
Right. So to do that today, like, it makes sense. But, if someone's starting off and they tell you to put that type of money in there, do you even have that to begin with?
Right, exactly. You have to have money to be able to invest. A lot of people don't. I mean, I think they understand that, and I think that's also what scares a lot of people, because we think we have to have more money than we may actually have to invest. An investment can start out pretty small, but
it grows.
It grows, definitely.
Yeah. I think if anyone's listening right now and your main investment, especially if you're at a corporate job, invest in your 401k.
Yes,
that's definitely the main thing you can do, is invest in your 401k. And even at 18, if any job you're at and they have a 401k, make sure you sign up for that program, because that is your future money. That is your honey hole. So there's a little tip that I didn't know, and I wish I knew.
Honey hole.
Never dip into it until you need to buy a house.
Right. Stay out the honey hole.
Yeah.
So So let me ask you, Sade, so what are some of the experiences that you've had since you've gotten into real estate? Do you work mainly with buyers or mainly with sellers or both?
Both. But predominantly I would say buyers. And I really enjoy working with buyers because it's a strategy for me. It's more so of a hustle for me. It's a grind for me. And I get to meet so many different people. Yeah. So I think that's, me. I'm the person who's outgoing. I love meeting people. And that's why I kind of love real estate too. Yeah. My first year here in Portland was overwhelming. I really had to trust myself just because I am native to Portland. I haven't lived in a state for 22 years. I grew up in Georgia.
Wow. So when did you actually move back to Portland?
I moved back 5 years ago. So what was that, 2016?
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you already in real estate before you moved back, or did you get in real estate once you got back?
I got in real estate once I got here.
Okay.
And that was 4 years after I got here. I got into real estate. So I made a plan. I knew I was going to get into real estate. But I moved myself to the west side. I've never lived on the west side of Portland, and I learned that area first. I moved over to the east side, to the Gresham area, and I learned that area. And then the pandemic had hit, and I was over in Thailand.
You were in Thailand?
I was in Thailand.
So I've never heard about you going to Thailand. Tell me about that experience. First of all, why were you in Thailand? Were you vacationing and it hit, or like?
Both. So I was a bridesmaid in a wedding over there, and the bride is Thai and her family. Okay, and I had
beautiful
friends over there as well, so I met them. Great wedding, beautiful wedding. Congratulations to them, Corazon and Jackson. So yeah, when we came, Corona was hitting mainstream America media at the time. And
how long were you in Thailand?
2.5 weeks.
Wow, that is a long wedding. That's a long time to be gone for a wedding.
I mean, I was there for the wedding. After the wedding, I was
I'm
doing my thing. Yeah, right. I was having a good time. But over there, flying to get to Thailand at the time, we had to stop through Bangkok Hong Kong first. And I remember getting off the plane, deplaning, and they had people like in clean bunny suits. And I was like,
what?
Oh.
Hold on, you said they had people in bunny suits?
Like the clean bunny suits, like the sanitation bunny suits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like the hazmat
I'm thinking
suits.
bunny suits with ears.
No.
I'm like, what?
This ain't Japan.
Right?
Yeah, so they were very clean, very sterile, and it was just like janitors just everywhere constantly cleaning and spraying things down. They were already on the social distancing. There were shops that were closed down just to keep it very minimal in the airport itself. So in our layover there, I think it was a good 4 hours. And I was just kind of thinking like, did we make the right decision for them to be so shut down the way they were?
Right.
And that was our first layover after a 14-hour flight. That's like us getting off the plane and seeing the reality of what's happening on the other side of America or the world. And then we get to Bangkok.
Were you scared, like, am I going to be able to go back home? Or is that why you guys ended up being there for 2 weeks? Were you guys, like, on quarantine and stuff?
By the time it was time for us to come back home, I was crying in the cab not to go back home.
Really?
I wanted to stay over there. I was having the time of my life. And actually, Thailand itself only had 13 corona cases because they shut their borders down.
Okay, they weren't playing. They
were not.
Cutting it off right here.
Yeah, we left just in the nick of time because they really did. We left on March 1st, and I think that following week is when they shut their borders. Okay. They opened up last summer, and then that's when their cases rose. Like I said, we have friends over there, and a lot of them struggled through the pandemic. They lost their jobs. They didn't have work because like the markets, they all closed. Federal and state buildings, they all closed as well.
Wow.
How we got a stimulus, that came out very, very late for them. So it was a struggle. And when so many businesses were closed and shut down over there, even wire transferring how you would send your family money, they couldn't even intercept that. They couldn't receive that. So it was a hard time. For a lot of people over there in the pandemic. I bet.
Okay. So your friends, they made it back safe and everything, and they came back.
Yeah, everyone came back safe. Yeah, everyone's back. We were great coming back. Being there in the other countries, it was so realistic to see how fast they were acting, because they were on the front lines. They're closer. It started in an Asian country, right? In a city. So I believe they had more sense of what was happening at the time compared to America.
And they have more scares, it seems, usually in that part of the world, where like when SARS came out, they were the first ones to kind of also act on that and to start spraying down their subways and all of that.
I think they're very prepared. They're very ready. And like I said, their preparedness programs and their wellness and just how they're so aware of things, it just blew me away. Being in their malls, it was 8 stories of a mall. Wow. It was so cool. If you love shopping, go to Thailand.
Okay. Definitely.
But just something that they're cognizant of, or just germs in general. It's such a heavy population. Everything's heavily populated.
So it's a very clean country,
so clean.
City.
It was so clean, to where they have one person whose sole job is to stay at the elevator, and they clean we call the handrails.
Wow.
So it's just because there's so much traffic coming in and out and through, like that is their job, is to clean the handrails.
Wow.
The bathrooms are so clean and pristine. They have bidets
Imagine
in there.
if it was like that in America, because it is not. And I heard in a couple of different countries they have bidets like that.
I didn't use it in the mall. I did not. But just the fact that it was in there and they had like this smart toilet, and I was just like, wow. Cool.
They're advanced over there.
Very much so.
But so let's talk back again about real estate,
right,
so we can get a little bit more of your experience. They're not so much your experience, well, actually your experience in the market and kind of some of the things that you've had to deal with. So you were saying that you really enjoy working with buyers.
Yeah.
And how is that? How is your experience also with sellers, especially now? In the market really that we've been in, I'd say probably the last 3 years, where, well, really a little bit longer than that, the last 5 years, where it's kind of been a frenzy in the market when spring, summertime comes around, and there's usually more buyers than there is inventory. How is that navigating the market with your buyers and helping them set expectations when it comes to buying when there isn't a lot of inventory? What is that conversation like?
All right. So if you're on the seller side, you're in a sweet seat,
right? Definitely. It's definitely a seller's market.
Yeah, you know, it's like when you put your sign out and it says open, there's a brand new story market comes flooding in, right, you know? So I love that. It's so much excitement. But, you know, there's obviously the backhand work you have to do to prep the house for it. But when you get that flood and those open houses, and I'm the person who still enjoys conducting my own open homes, like open houses. I love it.
I've always liked doing open houses, too.
Yeah. I know a lot of realtors who don't, or maybe they just don't have the time to do it, and I completely understand that. But if I do have the time, I love hosting my open house. I spoke with my owner, so I know as much as I can know about the home.
Right. Which is always very important when you're presenting it to buyers, letting them know all those details.
Right. And I think they can really appreciate that when there's someone knowledgeable of the home, at least, you know. But when it comes to my buyers, last summer, man, there was definitely some defeats.
I've had them too, so I know.
There was some defeats there. There were times where it's like, am I even doing my job?
Give me an example of kind of what you.
So, you have some first time home buyers, and of course, they're super excited.
So, you know what? I just have to say it. I love my first time home buyers, and I feel so bad for them. So, especially in the market that we're in, because they are, as you said, they're so excited and so ready to buy, and they think they got it figured out, and they're ready to go, and then they actually get in this market, and it's like, oh shoot, you know, I didn't plan for this. It's like Hunger Games.
You get in the ring with Mike Tyson, you just have no chance,
right?
Until you get that one jab, and it's like, I win. I don't care.
Right.
I win. So yeah, working with my buyers, and a lot of them were the first time home buyers. And so they did all the paperwork, they did all the processing, and then finally they got that pre-approval letter, and that's what you've been waiting on, you know, and maybe it took them a year, 2 years, or 6 months, to get whatever it is.
Right, it's a whole process.
Right.
It's a whole process.
So once they get that, they're like, we're ready to go shopping. Yay. And during the summer, inventory wasn't too bad for us, actually. It was good. It wasn't the inventory that was an issue. It was the multiple offers.
Yeah.
And speaking to listing agents, it was a hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a multiple offers because there were so many buyers.
Right.
That were competing for the same property. And I don't know if it was I know the loan amount just went up, thank God, for first-time buyers because before it was making the market really tight and they just weren't able to get into the homes that they wanted to because their loans weren't large enough, you know, to move where they wanted to move.
They didn't have the excess, to make up for it.
Right.
So my struggle was with our colleagues, actually. Was with when I had buyers and I needed to speak to the listing agent, a lot of times they were hesitant to give you any type of information. And I totally understand that because they're working for their clients and not working for me. But there would just be times like, hey, I don't want to waste your time and definitely don't want to waste your seller's time. So just say the house is $450,000. Have we exceeded $500,000 yet in offers?
Are we close? Do we need to be going up? Right. Can you give me a hint so
I know we're going over. But if we have already exceeded my client's budget without me revealing their budget,
right?
Let me just know, hey, have we exceeded $500,000? Just send in your offer. Okay.
Right.
Sure. Okay. What are your sellers looking for? What's something that, we can make this a win-win situation for your buyer or your seller and then my buyers? What can we do to make sure that we have a strong offer for them? What are they looking for?
That's such a great question because it's really direct and it's like, can we compete or not?
Right.
Can we get in the race or...
I don't want you to just throw my offer off to the side. Why waste their time and we're waiting on our deadline.
Right.
And that's another thing. Colleagues, come on, call me back or email me and let me know.
That, please make sure you guys call the buyer agents back. They have clients that are also waiting for this information. That's what I've dealt a lot with that as well. The uncooperative other agent that doesn't want to reach back out. That wants to be super vague.
Just let me know. Did we make it or did we not? Or
right.
Deny, rejected, approve, whatever it is. Anything helps just so I can relay the message because...
It also saves time on paperwork. We don't have to send back and forth all this paperwork if we can get it right the first time or two.
Yeah. So that has actually... the negative of that has helped me in my business. So, being in a position of a listing agent right now, I'm talking to my buyers directly, and I update them. And I just got the compliment yesterday, and he said, I really appreciate that you just call me or you'll text me, you'll email me. He goes, I get updates from you at least 2 to 3 times a week. He goes, I've never dealt with somebody who's done that. And I said,
that's awesome.
Thank you. And I said, but I do that because I want that to be reciprocated. So I'm just trying to put it out there, the example or whatever it is. Like,
lead by example.
Please do the same for me. Please respect me because I respect his business. He brought me buyers to my listing. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. So tell me about some of the difficulties that you may have had with your sellers and when it comes to listing. I'm laughing
Why you
already.
Want me to talk about my people like that? Should not talk about people.
Right.
Rude.
But this is not a bad thing. We're basically,
what are some cons?
I love my sellers. But this is something for you homeowners out there to know as well. There's different ways that the market values your home versus what the appraiser may value your home and definitely what you value your home. And I know when dealing with sellers, this is something that I always have to talk to them about as far as setting real expectations. And I'm going to kind of let Sade kind of go into this because we talked about this prior. We actually have talked about this a few times. We had
a cocktail night. I think we were a little hangry.
Right. We had a little venting session.
Right.
So go ahead.
Because when someone hires you, they hire you as a professional. They want you as your professional advice, Definitely. And they want you to guide you throughout the process. So I feel like if you have invested your time to trust me and to hire me, at least heed the information that I'm giving you. Right. And I love the fact that we can have a dialogue. Absolutely. But
what she's saying is respect her professional opinion. because that is why she is being hired. And that is a huge thing. When you're getting ready to buy or sell, you always have family and friends that have done it once or twice.
Uncle Earl knows it all.
Uncle Earl knows it all.
And he doesn't.
Right.
He used to.
Right. Uncle Earl bought one house and now thinks he knows how to, know, like he does this for a living. So yeah, it's really important that you respect the opinion of the professional that you're working with, because we are in this market, working this market every single day. We know how the market changes. We know what the market is expecting from the sellers. Mm-hmm. And so, it's wise to listen to the professionals that's working with you. Back to you, Sade.
Thanks. Like we're on a newscast. Right. Okay. But how I speak to people, I give everyone the respect, because Definitely. I do believe everyone's home is worth millions of dollars because it's so valuable to them and so sentimental to them, so you have to respect their feelings.
Yes, definitely.
And I definitely do that. And then I said, okay.
And she doesn't mean it's worth millions of dollars. Literally, she means
sentimental value.
Sentimental value. That is worth something, but it's worth something to
yourself.
To yourself.
Go ahead. To your family and Uncle Earl.
Right. Uncle Earl.
Now, what is your house value worth to others, to strangers, to outsiders, to business people? Those who are in the market to buy a home,
And that's what we mean by market value, what the market thinks your home is worth.
And that's where sometimes you as a seller or as an owner, your feelings can get hurt because you see all the excitement and all the hoopla, like, oh my gosh, this house just sold for $100,000 over.
It's a seller's market.
And it's a seller's market. I can do whatever I want to do. Absolutely. You totally can do that.
I don't have to paint my house or.
You could totally be that person who puts their house on the market with no research, no nothing. And you force that realtor to say, if you want this listing, you have to list my house for $1 million as is, point blank, period. Well, how long is that house going to sit there for $1 million? Right.
And that's a really tough spot to be in. Like if I have a client that's being unrealistic about what their house is priced for, if I know it's going to be difficult in order for me to really set the expectations, there has been times where I've had to walk away.
Yeah, you have to value your own time.
Yeah, you have to value your own time. And also, you don't want to, again, set their expectations wrong just because the house down the street that is similar to yours. And we will get into that of how we value your home as far as comps, comparative market analysis, versus how an appraiser may value your home, and then versus how the market values your home, because they are very three different ways to value, and they all do hold value.
Yes, absolutely.
And so the best thing is to kind of find a medium in between all of those, opinions on the pricing, and to also see what you can do to your home to bring up the value.
Yep. Absolutely. Great segue there, because say the home, let's make up a home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the home is 3 stories and it's built in, this is Oregon, huh?
It's
1922. It's built in 1922, and it may have some updates done in 1962.
Right.
And then it stopped.
So
it had, in 40 years, it had one upgrade.
And maybe in some new piping or a new toilet in the house, but nothing else has been touched.
Right. And so now we are in the year 2022. Some time has passed, and now you're ready to put this house on the market. Oh, your house is the biggest lot, though, in the neighborhood. You have the biggest lot in the neighborhood, and that includes your backyard, your front yard, and just say you think your square footage inside. And you see all your neighbors down the street are selling their homes, and they're going super fast. And you just found out the house 3 doors down sold for $587. Oh, you just know your house is going to sell for like $800,000, right? Because you're the biggest house. So the biggest house has to sell with the highest ticket price or listing price. That's not true. And the reason why that isn't true is because now we need to compare your home and that home that did sell for $587.
And this is where the disappointment sets in for a lot of sellers. when they
massage it in, Tinisha. Right. Massage it in. Wait a minute. Build them up first.
Right.
It's a beautiful home. Your home is gorgeous. And it's worth so much. And I understand the value that you see in your home. I see the value as well in your home. A lot of character into it, right? Here are the comps. And then that's when we get into what she said, our comps.
Yeah. So take that? Yeah. So with the comps and how we will comp the home versus your sentimental value of your home. So what the market is looking at, you have this big, beautiful home, this big, beautiful lot. But again, you haven't done any updates or upgrades or anything to your home in over 20 years. Now, the 4-bedroom down the street, 2 houses down, that's just a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, smaller lot than yours, just sold for $458, as Sade said. So you think, okay, well, my home must be worth more than that. Well, this is when it comes to the comps. First of all, when we comp, we're comping by similarities. So say your home is a 5-bedroom, we're going to comp it with another 5-bedroom in your neighborhood, usually within a 3 to 6 mile radius. We only go 6 miles if we can't find a home that sold recently within that 3-mile radius.
I try to keep it really tight with the elementary school district.
Definitely.
Keep it really tight and using a zip code, and that would kind of give you your cluster of a neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with that, we're looking for a similar size lot. It doesn't have to be exact, but it does have to be pretty close. And then also the same amount of bedrooms that the home may have and the same level. So if you have a 5-bedroom house, we're going to comp it with another 5-bedroom, 3-level home. We're not going to comp it with a 5-bedroom, 1-level home. So we want to find the similar style house. Okay, now this is what Zillow is doing when they are doing their Zestimates. They are looking at the similar size lot, the square footage, and they're looking at how many rooms your house has and the same style of home. They comp your house basically off of those details. The details that they are missing a lot of the time, and this is what kind of makes it hard for me and Sade when we are trying to give our clients a realistic view of what their home is worth. We've actually been inside of your home. Most realtors, before they give you their comp of what your home may be worth, they're going to do a walkthrough. And the reason why we do that walkthrough is because we're looking at things in your home that have not been updated, that have not been done, and any maintenance that your home may be overdue on. That where sellers are going to either knock off a credit or knock off the dollar value of the home. So say if you haven't, upgraded your home in 15 years and the house down the street, the reason why that one sold is because it was just upgraded 5 years ago. It has brand new floors in. It has stainless steel fixtures in the kitchen. It has a new bathroom. It has new linoleum on the floors.
It's move-in ready. It's
move-in ready. Yeah. It's been repainted and it's up to market value. So what market value is what the people that are looking to buy your house thinks your home is worth. Now, if they look at that home down the street that has all of these wonderful upgrades in it and they're like, I can move in this right now. I'm not going to have to spend any money redoing the floors or getting the bathroom or the kitchen how I want it because it's already done. Right. Then they come down the street and look at your house because your house is also on the market. So this other house is pretty much your competition. So now they're coming over to your house and your house is also priced at $458. What they're going to be looking at, me as the buyer, I'm going to be looking at everything that your house isn't compared to the other house. Mm-hmm. Your house has not been upgraded at all. There is no new flooring. There is no new bathrooms. It has all of its original everything.
Yeah.
And it needs a bunch of repairs. Maybe there's a roof or a leak in the roof. Maybe the linoleum is peeling up in the kitchen somewhere. The cabinets are a little shabby. And again, it does not mean that your house isn't valuable. Your house is still very valuable, but there are some things that need to be done to get it up to market value. Because when the buyer, again, is comparing your house to the other house, they're going to say, this house that I'm looking at now is not worth $458. If this other house down the street has all these wonderful upgrades and these new fixtures, I'd rather pay $458 for that.
You're always going to go for the shinier stuff, right? The
They're
prettier
always.
stuff. You're going to go for the shinier, the prettier property. Right? I think that's just human nature.
And also what you have to spend less money on once you move into that property.
Right.
What is, what's move-in ready for you? What is livable for you right now versus, now if you're looking for a fixer-upper.
That makes sense.
then that makes sense. If you're looking for something to throw a little equity into, then that makes sense. And we'll talk about that too here in a second.
Yeah, definitely. So Tinisha hit all the points on that, definitely.
And I didn't mean to take all the points.
No, absolutely. So if you do have a home and you hired a realtor, you hire one of us, and we come in and we're having our initial meeting with you. And, the question is always, how much can I get for this house? And it's, well, okay, well, take me on a tour of your home. Have you guys done any upgrades? And the thing is, maybe it isn't visible upgrades. Maybe there is some maintenance in the homes that are huge to lenders, huge to buyers, like your roof. Did you maintain that roof? Is that a new roof? When was the last time it was serviced? Right. That's major because lenders want to know about that too. Definitely. When they're giving you a loan on this home. How about your electrical panel? Mm-hmm. Maybe you just had that reinstalled. How about a new AC unit, new flooring?
Your piping, your water pipes.
Absolutely. When it comes to plumbing, and you guys know that Oregon homes are sitting on the 1900s. Where everything's pretty original. And when I go through my inspections, what's one of the biggest dings? It's in your plumbing. It's in the sewer systems. There's always some type of pooling or this isn't connected right.
Or a tree branch that's growing in and forcing the sewer line to crack or to split. That could be a huge problem.
We have
or cause
forest trees as backyard trees here.
Right.
No. They're forest trees. Oregon is very evergreen. And so what she just said, I totally was on a inspection day. And shout out to Uptown Inspections. Joseph.
Uptown Inspections, Joseph Johnson.
Yes, so I was with him, and we were looking at it, and he was just like, well, those roots are just hitting those pipelines, and he goes, and you can see where they went in, and they try to dig and go around it. But if the tree isn't removed, the roots are just going to keep uprooting, and it's going to keep shifting that foundation. You're going to keep getting more cracks, and that's really hard to remedy. Because then you have to talk to the arborist, you have to talk to the city, and then sometimes these trees are protected.
Right, so you have to get permits to cut the trees down. That's why getting inspections for you buyers is so important. I know sometimes, like in the market that we're in right now, people are putting offers on homes basically sight unseen without them actually having done an inspection just to get their offer accepted. But remember, even if once you put an offer in a home, you still have the right to inspection. Right. So make sure you're using that 10-day inspection period to have your sewer scope done, to have your wall-to-wall inspections, to have your radon tests, all of that stuff. It's very important because a small overlook can cost you several thousands of dollars down the road.
Absolutely. So like she said, make sure you just get all your testing done. It's just, it's test driving a car before you buy the car.
Right, definitely.
And you're test driving this house before you move into it to make sure that it's suitable and safe for you and your family or, just yourself.
And that won't be a money pit. You don't want to move into something and end up putting all your money into it. Now you can't even enjoy your home because you're making all these repairs on the home. So yeah, those are all very important things to think about when purchasing a home. And again, for the sellers, some of the things that you can do, since we've explained to you what market value is, and really that's the most important. I mean, appraisals are very important, but how appraisers value your home versus, again, the way we value your home is they're looking at the cost of materials that it costs to build your home. And what I've noticed as a lot of older homes usually value more than the newer homes because of the materials used to build that home. Some contractors, a lot of investors have been flipping homes and they try to do what is affordable to them. So they're not getting the best quality wood a lot of the time. Some of these houses aren't built well. The walls are paper thin. The foundations aren't all that great. And they're using this really cheap wood. And not all of them, but some of them. Which is why, again, those inspections are important. But when it comes to an appraisal, the newer homes sometimes are going to value less than the older homes, depending on what has been done to them.
And you do get kind of a little cheap because now property values are going up based on sales, right? So based on the sales of the homes, we've noticed that. So that does help your property value increase a bit. And that's helping you with your appraisals, especially when those offers are coming in $50,000 over and $60,000 over, and you're not.
Area definitely matters where your home is at, but what really makes it a huge difference as well is the things that you're adding onto your home. How can you add equity onto a home that you're already in to sell for more? One of the things that I tell my clients is with ADUs, that's a great way to add value and equity to your home because you're basically building another unit in your home that could be rented out, and that could be, you could turn it into an income property.
Yes.
So a lot of people are doing that with their homes, but also upgrading is really important. If you're thinking about selling your home, the quickest and best way to add value is by doing those upgrades. Get that new flooring in there. Get that new tub and toilet in there. Get that new vanity.
Your kitchens are the biggest value that you can invest in your home. Anything that's a new appliance. So if you still have the 1960s stove and oven, you might want to go ahead and switch that out. And, you know, and white refrigerators. Ugh.
I know, right?
Nene already schooled us on that. Miss Nene Leak said, not a white refrigerator.
Did she?
Yes, she did. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I have a white refrigerator.
I do. You know what? I do too, but not for long. I'm upgrading to that stainless steel soon.
The houses we live in, people, they were born. They were built in the 1912s and 20s. So
we don't even have outlets for the stainless steel, for example.
You don't. You have to get new hardware in your home. Even doing that. So your outlet. Make sure you have a 3-prong outlet.
Right, it's the 3-prong and the 4-prong too.
And just even if you do the new USBs, that's like a big one in homes for upgrading. And another thing that people love in kitchens are the underlights under the cabinets.
Yeah,
people love underlights. The newest one I saw in the home that I just had sold was, we call them the Michael Jackson stairs. They light up every time you go on.
Oh, nice.
So it's a motion
that's
sensor.
So fun.
It was awesome.
I'd be having a ball on them stairs.
It was so fun. And then my client, we just had dinner the other night, and he goes, Sade, and I said, what's up? And he goes, I'm busting my ass down them stairs trying to Michael Jackson down them.
See, that'd be my problem every day.
And I thought that was so cute. But literally, I love
so cool.
I love so cool. I love this couple because they were so fun to where they went in looking for like all the gizmos and gadgets in the house. Mm-hmm. They lived in an older home, and they said, we don't want anything old. We want all new stuff. Mm-hmm. So this house that they bought was actually a contractor's house. So he did nothing but just ridiculous and crazy and cool repairs all throughout. Nice. There's a projectors downstairs in a basement that they kept down there. So the basement is it's lit to where it's darkened, but you can obviously open it up to become a daylight again, the basement. The floors are heated in the kitchen throughout to the bathroom. They have the wall vac system throughout the whole entire house. They have the LED lights throughout the ceilings, and then they have the Michael Jackson stairs, motion sensor.
So they just did like a total new age upgrade, and nice.
Things that we found out later, and I don't even know why they wouldn't even tell you this. There's a built-in shoe rack under the stairs, but it's flush with the stair wall to where you don't even know that there's a whole closet.
So the last property that I looked at, a friend of mine, he's also a realtor, but what he does is he rehabs older Victorian homes.
Oh, beautiful.
And upgrades them. So he showed me a home now that he has as an Airbnb, and what he did with the refrigerators was so awesome. Like you could walk in the kitchen, and he did it to save space. So there's like a baker's pantry in there. Mm-hmm. So you'll go in and you don't know that there's a whole refrigerator in there. It looks like a shelf.
The cabinet. Mm-hmm.
It looks like the cabinet. You open it up and there's a whole refrigerator in there, and it's like set back and it's kind of recessed into the wall. Same thing with like the drawers. So there's like all these, same thing with the oven. So the oven was the same way, and I was like, this is so cool. And just the smart use of space, you know.
It's so modern. I love the new modern homes and all the features they have in it.
Mm-hmm. And not saying that you have to do all that super modern stuff to upgrade your home or to add value, but it helps.
You do not. And if you have a house that's full of color on your walls, the main thing you can do, and it's a fairly inexpensive update, is paint your house neutral. Mm-hmm. You're not selling a home for yourself anymore.
Exactly.
People want to take you out of the home. They don't want your your feel anymore.
Exactly.
They want to see themselves in it. So give them a blank canvas to paint their own picture, their own idea of the home.
Definitely. And like you said, neutral is the best way to go. So a lighter color that's going to add more space to the room. And also, if you have any carpets in your home, like carpet is some people do carpet still, but what I found a lot of my buyers like is they like bare hardwood floors. If you have hardwood floors, get them buffed and waxed and spruced up. It really changes the whole look of the home. Yeah. And people do love original hardwood floors because they can always throw a throw rug over them, and they're easier to clean.
And landscaping.
Landscaping is very important.
Just manicure your lawn. Just give your lawn a nice facelift. It presents the home. It is the cover of your home. Right. Your outside is the cover of your home. So it's going to invite more people to come to it, to your open houses, to your listings, and then just your neighbors when they're walking past and they see that your home is manicured. It's going to kind of entice them to do the same for their home, and then anything is just more property value.
Because nobody wants to have the raggedy house on the block.
They don't.
If everybody else's house is nice and they've done their lawn and new paint. I just had had this talk with one of my clients. We've been working on her house for a long time, getting it ready to sell. And she had an old wood-burning stove in the living room. Her house was super cute, but it had this ugly old wood-burning stove in the living room, and it looked like it was from the early 1800s. And that's just like a
contract code and more paperwork that nobody wants to deal with anyway.
Exactly. And, and there are some people, of course, because we're in Oregon, that love those wood-burning stoves because they smell good. I love a good wood-burning stove, but I don't think I'd have one in my house. So I had her take the wood-burning stove out to add some space to the living room. Yeah. She got the floors redone. She had these kind of retro white and black checkered floors in her kitchen and a hallway. Okay. No, it was horrible. It was horrible. I begged her. She wanted to keep them for the longest, and she just sent me a picture, I think about like a week and a half ago. She was like, "You got your wish." She was like, "Look at it." But it looks so good now. Like her house looks amazing. But we to get the value of, to get the market value up, we had to make a lot of upgrades to her home. Right. But they weren't expensive. Well, she'd probably beg to differ. Right. Not all of them were expensive upgrades. We put a new vanity in the bathroom. We put some new flooring in the bathroom, cleaned up the tub really good. No, she got a new shower in there too.
A deep clean goes a long way.
Deep clean goes a long way. The windows were already good. So the rest was just really painting the entire house, repairing things that needed to be repaired that I knew that they would flag an inspection, getting the garage doors repaired. That's really important if you've been in an older house. It may not bother you as much because you're inside the house. You're not really looking at it from the outside in. Unless you're getting things that are coming into the house. And that's usually the huge thing with garage doors that are not all the way flush to the ground, is that there's critters that get in there.
Evergreen, Oregon.
Yes, especially here in Oregon. So you want to make sure that your garage doors are repaired and that are fully sealed. But those are things that, may cost you a few $1,000s to do to your home, but it definitely is worth it. It adds to the curb appeal. And anything that you can do to your home that is going to save the person that's moving in less money, it always makes for a good sale and for more offers.
Right. And I would say even just services, when you get like your furnace service or just things clean and update. And you can show those certificates, and that is a great appeal when you're writing descriptions for your listing, just letting people know. Warranties. Yeah. You have a warranty on major appliances.
And that's why you also use licensed contractors.
Absolutely.
Do not be doing a bunch of DIY stuff to your home. Painting is okay, but when it comes to like HVAC services, when it comes to electrical work, when it comes
to... It has to be a licensed contractor.
It has to be.
It has to be a licensed contractor, especially when it's the electrical or plumbing. What am I missing? I think even roof.
Oh, yeah, definitely with roofing. Right? Yeah, especially with roof, because those are things that have warranties on them.
And it's safety, it's hazard. So if you are going up there with just, thinking you can do something with some paste and glue.
And a lot of homeowners do that because they're trying to save money, and so they try to get up there with the silly putty and try to DIY it. They come out with that depth.
It's all going to come out in inspection anyway.
It all comes out.
All of your dirty laundry comes out in inspection.
Yes.
Right? So things that had a stain on it that you truly just did not know. That's okay. It's okay for your home to have blemishes. Why? Yeah, okay. Because it's not a brand new home.
Exactly. It's been lived in.
It's a used home. It's been lived in. you are now ready to move on from this home. You're going to remedy as much as you can before you put the house on the market.
And also think of it like, what would you want the house's condition that you're moving in to be? Mm-hmm. You want to give that same courtesy to the buyers of your home. You don't want to leave them a bunch of problems that are going to be costly for them, and have them stressing when they move in, just like you wouldn't want to when you move into your new home. You want to have as less to do as possible, and you want to spend more time enjoying your home and spending money on other things, not putting it all back into your home. Again, unless you are trying to find a fixer-upper and you're looking for a home to add your own personal touches to it, because that's always a good thing, too. If you really are trying to, if you really want to make that home yours and have your own personal touches, you can always have a contractor come in and do whatever you want to, or you can slowly do it, over time.
But that's why you have to have a professional and good realtor to negotiate for you. To be on your side. You need somebody with a mouthpiece.
Definitely. Yes.
We can talk. They'll get so annoyed with me. They'll be like, fine. She can have it. Take it. Right. I'm just ready for her to be gone. I'm like, okay, guys, we got it. Done, right? We're good.
Yeah. So what are some things that you would like to share with either home buyers or sellers or let's talk about home buyers that would help them in the market that we're in now, because things are definitely changing, and to kind of prepare them for what to expect this spring and summer?
Okay, that's a great question. Just because of what we experienced last year with being priced out in our offers, right? And some people panicking, and they're getting rid of their inspections. They're saying no inspections. They're saying no appraisals, and they're saying no. I just lost it.
No, that basically, not the 10-day inspection period, but basically no inspections and no appraisals, because there are some sellers that are like, they want an easy
quick
deal.
Close,
they want a quick close.
I had clients who suggested that, and I said, there's no way as a first-time home buyer I'm going to let you buy a home and you do not get this inspected, and you move into this house and it's just disastrous, because when you walk into a room, of course everybody wants to put their best face on until you go into the kitchen.
You don't know that nicely painted house is covering up water stains from the leaks that's been in the roof for 5 years.
Or something going on in the attic, or you have nothing but critters all throughout your crawl space. And that's a health hazard down there, or you do have a radon in your basement. And what does radon lead to? Lung cancer. You don't want to put your family in that environment. So, and then backtracking to what I would advise my buyers now, stay optimistic. Like, I am here to work for you this whole entire time. We are in this together. I know you're going to get discouraged, especially if we're on like our 5th offer at this
Stick
point.
out the process.
Yes, because everybody's winning, but they did not win off their first offer. My lucky number was 7 last year.
Oh my gosh.
It took 7 offers. Like, I don't know what it was.
I know it's exhausting, because it takes work to write out those offers. It's a lot of paperwork. What people don't see behind the scenes, what we do, we don't just show houses and accept offers and boom, it's done. No, there is tons of paperwork. There's negotiating.
And then it's the waiting period. That's what I was saying.
Waiting period.
When you don't have communication with the other agent, or they're not willing to communicate with you, that's what makes the process longer, and you're not willing to move on as fast, for your client, because you're waiting in this short time period you have for the deadlines, right? You're going to have to move pretty quick. So just always be ready. When I say always be ready, just know that I need to know your schedule ahead of time, and I'm going to block out those days, and we are going to be together, working together. So like last year, my clients, every weekend, they only had the weekends. So Saturday, Sunday, they knew those were our days. And on the off chance, if I saw a house, and you know how they have like these little quick deadlines, Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Right, we're reviewing offers.
Well, it's Monday, 4:30, and I'm like, hey, we got to go see this house because it checks all of your boxes. So can you jump in the car after work and we go directly there? And so just little nuances like that. Just know that I'm pushing you because I want it for you. I want it for you. And if we can, let's put our name in the hat too. Right. And I'm not going to exceed your budget. I want to stay within your budget. I want to make sure that you can keep your home. I'm not going to like make you financially burst. So just because you're pre-approved for $580,000, that doesn't mean we're going to go to the $580,000 houses right away. We're really your budget's going to probably start for me about, depending on the needs that you need, we're going to probably go about $475 and up. And we're going to look at that because we need some negotiating power.
Exactly. You need to save some wiggle room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I always tell my clients is you need to make sure you have some wiggle room. We're not going to start at the top of what you're approved for because you need to be able to be competitive in this market. Yes. If you do find a home that you really love and they have one or two other offers on it, you need to be able to make sure that you have an extra 5 to 10 to even maybe 15 to 20,000. Even more to be able to beat out the next offer. So make sure that you do have some wiggle room so that you can compete because we are in a very competitive market. Also make sure that you have all of your upfront fees together. A lot of new buyers that I speak with, that's something that they're always surprised by before I sit down and give them the consultation is that you're going to need your upfront fees. And that's your inspection fees. That's your earnest money. Those are the things that you are going to have to pay out of pocket. So make sure that you have that money liquid in your account and ready to go if your offer is accepted. Mm-hmm. Because these people aren't going to be waiting for you to find the money. I've had a deal fall out because one of my clients said that they had the money that they didn't really have, and then we were 2 weeks from closing, and they really didn't have the full down payment to be able to get into the house.
You have to be super honest with your realtor. You have to be honest,
exactly. You have to be honest because when you're not, it throws everything into chaos. We have to, it's a lot of back and forth that we have to kind of go through with the other agent, and it really just puts you in a bad position as well.
And you lose your earnest money.
And you lose your earnest money, exactly.
And that's the money you needed. That's your holding money. That's your holding fee for that house.
Right.
And I think that's really good for us as realtors to have a great rapport with the lenders. I think a lot of people misconstrue the fact that we know your business, your financial business. That's not true. That is not true. I don't know anything besides what your pre-approval paper tells me. Mm-hmm. And then I speak to your lender and it's kind of, how are we doing? How are they looking? Do we have the monies for X, Y, and Z? And they will tell you yes, or, let's come down a little bit on this.
And that's why it's also really important to choose a good lender, somebody that is going to be honest with you about what you can get into. And that's not just saying, okay, well, we did a pre-approval, they're ready to go. No, we need to know if your finances are right, if your debt to income ratio is at a point to where you can actually buy, because the underwriters are going to be looking at all that. It's not just the pre-approval that gets you into the house. It's the underwriting after that whole process. They are the ones checking to see if you really do have the funds that you said that you had in there and that you have that 6 months saved up to be able to pay your mortgage. Those are all extremely important, and there's nothing worse than getting this close and then finding out that the money is not there and they snatch it out just that quick.
Don't get the U-Haul before you sign.
Exactly. So make sure that you have a very thorough lender that is asking for all the proper things, and make sure you have all of your financial information turned in.
Jason Pittman.
Yes, go to Jason Pittman. He's the guy. He will make sure that you got it all down. He's not going to gaslight you and tell you it looks good when it doesn't.
They'll educate you along the way. Yeah. A good lender will educate you along the way to make sure that this home is financially fit for you, that you can afford it long term. It's just not a right now situation. So vet your lenders, vet your realtors.
Definitely.
You don't just have to take, my friend referred me to you, so I want to use you.
Find out if it's a good match and if they are who you want to work with. Do they work with first-time buyers? Do they are they going to work with you through the long haul, or are they looking for more of a quick type deal and for you to be ready? Because there are some impatient realtors out there, and there's some that may not even deal with you if you're not in a certain price range. So you definitely want to be interviewing your realtor to make sure that it's a good fit for you, and that your personalities match, because it is a partnership when you're buying, and you guys both have to be on your jobs. Mm-hmm. And really respecting each other's, and especially you really want to be listening to your realtor, and we talked about that in the beginning, is making sure that you respect your realtor's professional opinion, because this is what we are versed in. This is what we do every single day, and we're not going to lead you wrong, because we want the win just like you do, and we want the win for you.
Absolutely.
So, We are going to be wrapping up this segment. We have 1 minute and 58 seconds left. Thank you guys all for tuning in again to the Black Estate, Our Interest, Our Voice podcast, and for tuning in with Sade Sgaines of Berkshire Hathaway. If you guys are looking for a realtor to work with, if you guys are needing a consultation, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to Sade. Tell them where you can be found at, Sade.
Okay, so I work for Berkshire Hathaway Northwest. I'm located out of Lake Oswego, but I am all throughout Portland Metro. My phone number is 503-453-5034. And my email is S as in Sam, Gaines, Gaines, at BHHSNW.com.
Your social media?
Oh, yeah. That's yes to the address, okay? Are you ready for this? It's yes _2 _ the address.
Address. Can't get that wrong. And also, you guys, Tinisha, the real estate diva, you guys can also reach out to me if you guys are looking to sell or even if you're looking to buy. I'm also here to help you if you guys have any questions. Thank you for joining us for our real estate hour, and we will be coming back and joining you soon. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'll be bringing Sade back on again so we can have more real estate talk. So thank you guys for joining, and have a good evening.
So join Tinisha, the real estate diva, licensed broker, and CEO of the Black Estate Mag at the Black Estate. Our Interest, Our Voice podcast for some real conversation.